to be played. Once again, Llama Down Under, joined by Scansaw. We got NoDiggity versus Polarity. And Beastmaster picked up by NoDiggity. A lot of people consider Beastmaster the strongest hero right now.
Yeah, I think it's standardly considered to be so. I think it might be. It got nerfed. I mean, it was one of the strongest heroes of last patch, and it only got nerfed in terms of the Hawk's vision. So in terms of like getting your Necro 3, grouping up and pushing, or making pickoffs, roaring people, being able to disable through BKB, none of those things are actually reduced. The aura, all of that is still there. But Polarity feel like they need to ban the Veno. They decide, okay, you know what, NoDiggity, you've won 3 games today. They've all involved Veno. That's the secret, and we'll give you Beastmaster even, but no more Venomancer. Do something different.
The thing is, Beastmaster, I would be more concerned about that. Not only is there the Hawk Vision, but he's just a hero that buffs you up so much. You get bonus attack speed. He farms up the Necronomicon pretty dang fast. You got a BKB piercing stun, which repositions other people so it helps out in Roche Pit fights. Your balls are a pain in the bum. Like, this guy's great. I'm just so surprised teams keep giving him up, but there are so many things they need to ban. It's going to be a Venge Phoenix opener for Polarity, though, and if anybody can be a pain to Beastmaster in lane, Venge, Phoenix, heroes like Oracle as well, they can do it.
Yeah, Phoenix is... I've seen Phoenix a few times today. I think I saw it twice in the Chinese qualifiers and it won both times. Been doing a lot of work with both the ulti and the Sunray. Interested to see if Polarity run this as a offlane or supports. I think it's an offlaner, probably, because DK Phobos used to play Phoenix quite a lot. It was one of his preferred offlaners. So I would just guess off the bat that it's a Phoenix, and I also think... I mean, Phoenix and Venge put together can zone offlane Beastmaster, but I don't think either of them on their own does it that well. And I don't think you want to have to commit 2 supports. So I wouldn't be that surprised the Phoenix is offlane and the next support that they pick is a little bit better at self-dealing. The alternative is if you have just the Vengeful Spirit and like a really strong carry. It's just that Vengeful Spirit is one of the supports that if you stand off to the side and try trade blows with the Beastmaster on your own, the ball plus the Beastmaster actually just win that trade.
So, up next, Lion, Synderen's favorite hero. Now here's the thing, I actually, one second, I have the data on what Synderen plays, so I can say this, but he plays a crap ton of Lion. Everybody knows this, even if you don't catch every single one of Diggity's games. Do you think it's
worth... Bane, right?
Pardon? Yeah, and Bane. Do you think it's maybe worth it? I mean, obviously, you've got a lot to deal with in Qualifier and Kazu and Era already, but do you think maybe it's worth it if you think that you can get one of their support players out of their element? That might be better things to ban?
So you're saying that Polarity should have considered
banning I'm just saying, you know, you know that Quakefa's going to perform well on mid. There are so many heroes. He's not someone you can target in destroying his hero pool. Similarly with Kazu, he's been practicing a lot of different things, and Era, again, a huge hero pool. Do you try to target someone more like either Synderen or Yapsor, where so far showed to us a much smaller hero pool, and maybe get them off kilter that way?
I mean, I think in theory that makes sense. And look, they've kind of done that here, right? They banned the Venomancer. That's a Yapsol hero. They banned the Chen. That's a Yapsol hero. So they targeted Yapsol, just not Synderen. In this particular case, I feel like the stuff that Synderen does with Lion and Bane, like it's not that centrally about the hero it is. That's the thing. He's playing Pilot Eye. He's playing PPD. He's playing like I'm the 7 position support that does what I can with the scraps I get. But a lot of my job is about protecting people and tanking smoke ganks and that kind of thing, and any hero can do that. So to that extent, I feel like he's not the player to target, but I do agree with targeting support sometimes, and they did target Yapsol with both their opening bans, and I think that's totally legit.
Yeah, and also for folks, if you're looking for some of the other games, I believe Sir Action Slacks is costing those. So I think they're in still the Rebels versus Spirit lobby. Oh no, sorry, it's still in PR versus Kaipi, but Rebels versus Spirit is going to be starting right after that. So if you're looking for either of those, I believe Sir Action Slacks is costing them. I'm sure he has on his Twitter where they are, because I know some of you are probably like, where is everything? So just giving you a heads up. Nature's Prophet for Polarity. I like this hero a lot. He can do a lot of good work, and also, I'm not sure yet, but Polarity could actually just be going for an early push lineup here with the bench.
Yeah.
With the Nature's Prophet, Phoenix to heal up.
It's interesting to me because I was definitely thinking offlane Phoenix for DK Phobos, but Nature's Prophet often in the offlane. Although recently a lot of teams have been very successful with safe lane Nature's Prophet. I'm not sure if it goes either way in that sense. Something, I mean, this is really cheesy, but something I've seen before is the Phoenix ulti with the Nature's Prophet sprouting on it, and then like the enemy team can't actually see the egg, so they can't attack it. Um, I don't want to say that that's what they picked this for. It's probably not. But you called it. They are going heavy push. They have the draw ranger, and there could not be a clearer signal of a heavy all-in kind of push strategy than the draw pick.
And this is something we've seen a lot of the CIS teams have a lot of fun with. We've also seen quite a bit of success with drow strats. It's difficult because they do hit power peaks so early, and you really have to be perfect on your game. And Ember is someone who can hit like a truck, make it really hard to push uphill, but you need quite a bit of farm. Usually he won't have the Battle Fury bots, even and especially if he goes for something like the Aquila or Drums, till 25 minutes in.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Ember Spirit's a gap closer, and it depends on quite a lot of things. Like, you know, if NoDiggity are having a better lane stage, Ember Spirit could just be up in people's faces from the beginning and never look back, and that's kind of GG Polarity, you're out. Alternatively, if the draft strat does what it wants to and gains some of a lead early, gets some early towers, gains that kind of momentum, then you're right. Ember Spirit, he gets to a position where he's like, okay, Flip, I need to sit back and farm a few items because the damage output is, as I run at them, they just all hit me and I die, kind of thing. So lane stage can be crucial in that sense, and interestingly, NoDiggity go back for the Tinker yet again. And this is certainly something that gives you inevitability against the draw strategy. I think if the game goes late and your team has a Tinker and Ember Spirit and they're a draw lineup, you basically won the game. So it definitely puts pressure on Polarity, who maybe were already putting the same kind of pressure on themselves, but they're on a, I think they're on a definite timer, even without seeing the last picks for each team.
Yeah, I am really, I don't know. I think it's really scary to try to run a drow lineup, as you said, into a Tinker. Basically, unlike the last game where it could still go either way, this one feels a lot more like if it makes it past 35 minutes, Polarity can't win. You can extend that timer by taking an early Rax, but obviously if NoDiggity play incredibly well, as they have been so far all of today, your drow strat's not going to work.
You mean if NoDiggity play well? You said
Yeah, I
Polarity,
don't
think.
think especially against when you're playing a Tinker with max March, even though you'll probably lose tier 1s, maybe even tier 2s in one lane before March is maxed, once you've got the March maxed, the Drow lineup has such a hard time sieging.
So something that is worth pointing out is that NoDiggity did not have a good lineup for dealing with Phoenix's ulti. I mean, the Beastmaster's aura is going to give everyone attack speed, but none of those heroes naturally want to attack the egg. They just don't. And what's cool is the last pick here combines really well with that. Medusa ulti plus Phoenix ulti, there's a combo right there, making it very difficult for NoDiggity to take those fights. So I think it's possible. We need to look at the lane stage. I think the lane stage goes well for Polarity. NoDiggity could be in a lot of trouble, actually. If the lane stage goes well for NoDiggity, same story. Polarity could be in a lot of trouble because they could really just miss the entire window. Medusa is one of those heroes that, you know, we were talking about can win, can't win. Medusa can win at any stage in the game, honestly. It actually can. Lion's Mana Drain helps against it, and Beastmaster's Necros, Mana Burn as well. Like, those things help to deal with the tanky Medusa. But she's also got the Draw Aura, Avenge Aura, so this is a game that either team could take later on. Probably it favors NoDiggity quite a lot if it does go later. But the lane stage could be huge here. Could be really huge, because if Polarity get a big lead, they won't even have to look back. They're gonna close out the game quickly. Whereas if NoDiggity get a big lead, Polarity probably will miss their window.
Yeah, also, I really do, what was I gonna say? I have to, like, eat my words now because they put in the Medusa. I was like, if you're running a traditional drow strat, you're gonna be in trouble. And then they're like, yeah, let's throw a wrench in the works. So, really good job there. By,
I mean, they're still, their plan A is still probably the traditional draw plan, which is like, let's try have a good lane stage and then just kill all your towers and win the game. But you're right, Medusa gives them a plan B.
And also, I have to say, guys, I think that I know I was just checking in for some other stuff, but I have to say I think that all of Diggity playing really well. We make fun of some of them sometimes because, you know, they used to be casters, and I actually think Cinder Noi is performing really well. We talked about it last game, but tanking ganks, one of the best things you can do as a support. It is the Pylai die strats, and Cinderin has embraced that role. As we said, Cinderin dies, the fight's won for his team. So I actually just want to say, commend that guy. He always plays super well. But let's get back into it. Enough sucking up for now. Introductions, I'll take Polarity. This time, we've got Phoenix being played up by Lil, Ninja on the Medusa, Pasha on the Drow Ranger, Senna, or Mikey on the Venge, and finally Drow, who I already said, where are you, Nature's Prophet? There we go, DK Phobos on that Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, who's going to be up against Ira, playing Ember Spirit, one of the heroes that he likes to play. Yapsol's going to be roaming around on his Earth Spirit. Going to be Qualifier playing Tinker, second game in a row. Cinderin playing Lion, second game in a row.
Earthshaker, you said Earth Spirit, I know what you're thinking. He does Earth.
Whoops.
He does that one too.
Whoops, Earthshaker, that's the one.
Okay, are we killing the courier? No, the fissure! Oh, poor Lil, he just wanted to murder someone, and they just block him. That was actually... The courier would have been dead if not for Yapsol's Earthshaker. Please continue with the intros.
Yeah, well, the last one was Kezu's Beastmaster, which is, I think Beastmaster and Void are his most played heroes. I haven't checked this, but he had the Void last game, he has the Beastmaster this game, and they're certainly the two heroes I've seen him playing the most, so he's going to be comfortable in that. Interestingly, he started with the Iron Talon, but still does go to the lane to see what he can get, but probably will move to the jungle reasonably early.
So, down in bottom, Pasha should be able to get farm in this lane. Maybe even a kill on Kazu if he misplays, but we'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, Medusa versus Tinker. Now that's not a mid matchup you get every day.
Yeah, well, maybe it's the future of this patch, because these are both becoming very popular in this patch, and neither of them were popular at all in the previous patch, but Medusa, she's got the ability to go back and stack and farm the neutral camps near to her lane. The new Mystic Snake is also just really, really powerful, so she can dominate the lane.
A nice fissure coming out from Yapsor, but just the auto attacks.
Kill her.
Yeah. It's some harass, you know, make her use that salve.
Yeah, it's a big victory they chased her to go the long way around though. She really wanted to fight her way back in and move back to her ramp, but Qualifier saying no, you're walking around, and that actually makes the gank definitely successful.
So, on top lane though, Era on this Ember Spirit, this, as you mentioned, another favorite hero of his.
Haste.
Something they really like to pick up. He has, on last patch, 75% win rate with it, although there wasn't a whole lot of
They might kill DK Phobos here.
Searing Chains at the ready. He needs to get a little bit... There we go. He could Searing Chains and get it for sure. They don't even need it. They got him blocked in. Goodbye, DK Phobos. First Blood, actually nicely handed over to the support to make life easier, and Kazu, he's jungling, never mind.
And I think that... I think that DK Phobos might have seen Cinderin coming in, but... Or the other way around, he saw the Earthshaker get the haste stream but didn't see Cinderin. Not sure. Because I feel like there was some window where he might have been able to TP out. But it was only for like 1 or 2 seconds, and then it was too late.
Yeah. So, a nice pick-off there. Already bringing some hell to Nature's Prophet. But of course, he can fall back on the jungle. It's not the worst, and... This mid lane probably not going to be the most exciting, guys. Let's be real. For Earthshaker, do you think it's appropriate here if maybe Yapso tries to pick up an Iron Talon or something? Of course, roaming and ganking makes a lot of sense. But, maybe he could get an Iron Talon and try to get some more efficiency out of that jungle. Is now redundant because Beastmaster's living there.
I don't think he will. I just think that's not Earthshaker's style. He's what we've seen so far. Yeah, he's gonna stack, he's gonna roam, and I mean maybe one day I'll eat my words, but I feel like Earthshaker is one of the heroes that you unlikely to see an Iron Talon on, unless it's like an offlane Earthshaker, and even then you probably won't. It's more likely just to be roaming into lanes.
Yeah. We didn't talk about it in the draft, of course, but something else really interesting to me about the Medusa pickup, definitely trying to get themselves some more late game on Polarity, but it's really an interesting one against the Beastmaster, who is inevitably going to go Necrobooks, and that drains your mana quite a lot.
Yep, the Beastmaster drains mana, so does the Lion, very directly.
Yeah.
I mean, Lion is... If Lion can get a long duration maxed out mana drain on Medusa, it's like higher DPS than anything else in the whole game against it, to be honest. Like, if you'd work out the effective DPS of it. So, there are tools to deal with it later. It's... I mean, yeah, we're going from, oh, NoDiggity definitely have the late game, and then now there's a Medusa, maybe they have... Polarity also have some late game, but it's... I still think NoDiggity are pretty favored if the plan A draw strategy push doesn't work.
Speaking of Drow, she is the top farmer when it comes to CS in the game so far, and Medusa actually the next highest net worth. So they are getting off to the good start they want on Polarity, just pulling a little bit ahead, you know, it's only 5 minutes in, but they already do have about a 1,000 gold lead. So good stuff, and if they can take out this tower, no contest, they can extend that lead.
Yeah, looks like Earthshake is trying to slow them down a little bit, getting some XP for himself as well, but it's only going to delay the inevitable. I think this tower definitely dies, and I think there's
guess who else is dying? DK Phobos in trouble again. He will burn down the Sunray. Too late to save his life. Phoenix TP's up there. Gets a lot of damage onto Cinderin, but won't be able to kill him. The Treant's trying to do some damage, but Phoenix only level 3. Doesn't even have the Fire Spirit, so... Oh, and tower goes down bottom. Too late for Kezu to TP in and maybe get the deny.
Yeah, that tower was always going to die. Like, if he had come in a little bit earlier, maybe they could have contested, try to get the deny. But for me, it's more like in the draw strategy, the draw itself is always going to, well, TP mid.
Yeah, Nature's Prophet gets the Sprout. They have the Mystic Snake, but no, the Fissure. Yapso with the saves. Quakefoot getting very low, but it's not enough. And now Alpha Ninja in a lot of trouble. Era's come on in. That Flame Guard does a lot of work early, as do the Searing Chains. Alpha Ninja will go down. It's a party in the mid lane.
Yeah, it's very bad for Polarity to give up all these early kills, especially on this one on the Medusa. The Draw's doing well, and what I wanted to say, the Draw's always going to kill the tower in its own lane pretty quickly. The question is how long they take to kill more towers. If they start barreling down lanes, killing lots of towers, that's still fine for Polarity. But I have a feeling because of the kill advantage NoDiggity have, because of the levels they've up, Beastmaster's basically level 6 now, even Earthshake has got a lot of XP. I think it might be difficult for Polarity to get the next tower. And if they stall, when you're a draw strategy and you stall on just having one tower killed for quite a while, that's a very poor sign. So, I mean, let's see. Maybe they find an opening and get the next tower, but at the moment it's not immediately obvious where they'd go for that next tower.
On the other hand, they did get a 5-minute tier 1. Let's not like take that away from them. That's pretty good. Something I wanted to point out that's cute, we've been seeing more and more people casually pick up the Windlace. Phoenix already has one, which I think makes a lot of sense since Phoenix, you know, positioning can be key on that, or is key on that hero. Arguably key on all heroes, but you know what I mean, folks. And it's such a cheap item, already has the Tranquils, has the Windlace, gets a crap ton of movement speed when those Tranquils are active, so Phoenix gonna be able to move in and out, throwing Fire Spirits and whatever else he pleases.
See, this is what I'm talking about. They recognize they need to kill more towers. I think the reason the Phoenix has TP'd bots is because Nature's Prophet can TP anywhere. They don't need to bring the Medusa, but yeah, even using the scan, trying to see, are they defending this tower? Because they really want to get more towers, but NoDiggity are down here.
Oh yeah, they want to find themselves some more kills, going in onto the Venge, but immediately the Sunray follow-up, the Silence onto Kezu. Era's here, Searing Chains, lands on some creeps, and Cinderin getting low because Nature's Prophet deciding to smack him around a little. But they will all back out on NoDiggity. Now, they have committed 4 here for Polarity, but NoDiggity's similar rotation. Only Tinker still farming in the mid lane. Now 5 actually for Polarity. If they don't get this tower, this will be considered a loss because of all of these rotations.
I think they probably will get it now. Now that they've committed this match to it. And this is...
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
You just cut off Scant. Oh gosh, Scant, I'm a little bit worried he's died here, but most likely... Gonna continue pushing this tower. We can see that Diggity already rotating some folks around in other directions to see what they can find there. And here it is, the push. It will melt under the Drow Aura. Cinderin doing what he can to get rid of creeps, but unfortunately not enough. They've already used the glyph. There's the swap. They want to pick off Kezu. Primal Roar, though, it's just Avenge. She doesn't mind dying for the cause. And there will be Nature's Wrath, not quite enough to bring down Kezu. And the tower will be gone. And while Tinker making a bit of a dent in that mid lane, it's not going to be enough.
Sorry, I think about line drop for a second there, but yeah, it's look, that's a good trade. I like the Polarity recognize, like they're losing the kill trades, but they have to get more towers. Like that's how their strategy works. And after the initial fight there, the tools just weren't available for NoDiggity to actually take a fight to contest the tower. And now this is Polarity going for the next tower, the top lane, and NoDiggity really want to contest. They really, at any point, if they take a big fight and save a tower and kill a bunch of heroes, this game becomes, you know, theirs for the taking.
Very little they can do since they used the glyph for that tier 2 and Polarity. This is the snowball. 3 towers, one of them a tier 2 already taken at 9.5 minutes. This is, you know, this is some TI4 business coming up in your face. So I gotta stop saying that. But then Drow already has some life steal, and right now, just because there's a little bit more gold on the side of Polarity, and of course, Earthshaker still not quite level 5. Tinker doesn't. He actually just maxed out March, so maybe they can do something here. Doesn't have enough mana to sustain it. So Dig may lose another tier 2.
Dire's top tower is under
Yeah, the Tinker has to get involved. They didn't want to get him involved this early. They wanted him to get travels first, but he has to get involved. They also, when they use Raw, they need to do something. When they use Fission, they need to do something because these are not. The spam is not enough on its own as spam. The March spam can slow down the enemy team, but if you look at what your Earthshake is doing, every now and then Fissure, and then the hero is doing nothing while Fissure is cooling down. Similar to Beastmaster when Raw is cooling down, similar to Lion, like a lot of the heroes actually on NoDiggity, when you talk about facing of this push, if they can't actually commit, initiate, go in, it's almost quite futile that they're going there in the first place. Well, Synderen has picked up the tome and has his level 6, almost level 7, so Finger definitely is going to give them some extra damage. Earthshake is also level 6, that's going to give them some extra damage, and as we said, the Tinker's maxed March, so it might be that we're getting close to the point where NoDiggity feel like they have the damage to actually charge into the push, rather than just like throwing some fissures at it, and they have smoke down towards that lane.
Yeah, but at the same time, Polarity, you see them drawing on the map. They knew something was up. I don't believe they had any vision that caught this smoke at all, but Polarity were like, oh, there's something fishy going on. And part of the other problem with these push starts, in Diggity's shoes, it's really hard to find farm because you're losing a lot of map vision. Oh. So speaking of, Phoenix, probably about to get murdered, does have the egg and Icarus dive. There's the fissure though. They're immediately eggs! They now have to run on up. Our TP support's coming in. Phoenix will go down, but let's see if DK Phobos can get the return kill. Kezu hadn't used the ult yet, and the finger. Synderen helping to get the kill there. A big Echo Slam onto DK Phobos, but Nature's Prophet gets 2 kills here. Won't be able to secure Yapsor. But a 2 for 2. Drow going down. Pretty damn good for Diggity.
Yeah, and Polarity are still definitely gonna be fine with that. It's it's an okay trade in both directions. The
Polarity
question
actually
becomes,
come out on top a little bit. There's a swap onto Qualifier as well, and this should easily be a kill onto him. Goodbye, Tinker.
I mean, so far the draw plan is actually working very well. Like they have less experience, but that's perfectly normal. You're grouping up early on, so the enemy team's gonna get experience gap. They're killing lots of towers. Doesn't look like they're gonna stop anytime soon. The question becomes, when you look at these kind of strategies, once all the easy to secure towers are dead, what does the Polarity strategy do then? Is it now we split up and farm more? Do they just go straight away high ground? Is it rush then high ground? Sometimes these strategies, which are geared around grouping up and pushing early on, sometimes they actually lose their momentum once they've killed all the outer towers because they don't have identity, and then you just split up and you just farm and you get ahead of them.
Oh, Nature's
So
Prophet comes in right on top of a Remnant though. Icarus dive in. There immediately is the Medusa ult. Can they keep DK Phobos alive? It's looking like a yes. Oh, Kezu getting stoned up there, but he is running away. Does take a Fire Spirit. Venge in a lot of trouble. They really want Kezu here, but Primal Roar, Alpha Ninja with no mana, and he will most likely go down. He has a haste, but the Lost Laser picks him off. And too deep of a dive coming out of Polarity.
I just think DK Phobos is TP, like he definitely didn't think there's a whole lot of heroes standing there. And as a result of him TPing into all the enemy heroes, everyone charges forward, starts tanking the tower, diving underneath the tower, and then suddenly they all need to run away. It's not the fight the way they planned it, it's not the push the way they planned it, and it's all because he TP'd in thinking it would be safe, we're just gonna push. Surely they won't defend this tower, and as it happened, NoDiggity were all there. And DK Phobos again in trouble with this bot lane now.
He's trying to, actually a nice trap, unfortunately. There's a lion right over there. There's the Remnant Bomb. A nice swap! Holy Hannah, Xena! Doing mad work. May go down here, but save the Nature's Prophet. Xena taking a lot of damage. Nature's Wrath coming on through. Can Pasha find anyone? There'll be one TP out from Synderen. And Era, he should be fast enough to get on his way.
Well, there's a TP in from DK Phobos. So
yeah, he's gonna try for it, but I don't know. He couldn't get the Sprout. Body blocked by his own creeps. Happens to the best of us.
In the meantime, I'm looking at Yapsor in this mid lane. Have you seen his farm? It's pretty insane, actually. I mean, just because he hasn't died this game. 0-0 and 4. Arcane Boots nearly blink, and that is an item that turns around this game. I mean, we can talk about Ember Spirits, getting to Battle Fury or Tinker's travels and blink, but Chica gets a decent timing on blink dagger. Things could change.
I think the earlier Echo Slam, oh actually we have a fight, Kezu has been sprouted up here, he does have Primal Roar, but he's just going for the TP away and will be successful there. The Echo Slam in top lane that helped them get a, that may have just been Blink for Yapso, 100 Chai. Helped them get a kill on the Drow, and all the Treants went to Yapso, so he got a really great start. Here they go again, trying to work on this mid tower. Of course tier 1s don't have backdoor protection, so they could sort of cheese it with the Ents.
There is a single little Necronomicon warrior just poking its head around, but this tower is probably going to be denied now. Let's see if there's any attempt to come get the last hit. It's interesting that they're choosing not to deny it just yet. Maybe they want it up for TP purposes for now, or it's actually bait.
Bait, yeah. I imagine that NoDiggity, especially with how close the Blink is, understanding that they could probably get off a really big Echo Slam, lock people into that March of the Machine, and if they get a team wipe, it will stop. I mean, you can see a couple kills. It's already killed a lot of Polarity's momentum. They were never more than 2,000 gold ahead. And they are certainly behind in experience because of all this grouping up. If you can continue to pick them off, you will stop all of that momentum. Cinderin may get caught out here. Okay, it's just nighttime things. There's going to be the swap as well. Cinderin with the stun. Where are the fire spirits? Icarus dive over will slow him down. Nature's Prophet coming in, getting the last hit. So, and actually getting out of the top lane just fine. So
that's another situation where I feel like maybe it's worth it to use a scan. Like, it's not something we've seen people use scan much for, but Cinderin uses a scan to scout ahead when he's going deep into a dangerous place to ward. Might end up saving his life in that situation.
Yeah, so they have a Discord drop. Like, we'll be ready to go in. Where is Yapso in this fight? Because he has the Blink, he has the Echo. They need to be careful. They do manage to get the tower. Oh, he actually pops the ult, Alpha Ninja, not wanting to have to deal with anybody coming in onto them. But he is very low, and Yapso, again, I want to stress, has the Blink, has the Echo. There's a spot for it. Instead, they try to stop the Venge from murdering their Beastmaster, but Venge gets the kill, will go down, but that's a worthwhile trade. And the rest of Polarity decide to back out.
I mean, it's a worthwhile trade for it to lose a support to kill a core, but at the same time, I feel like in the grander scheme of things, it's not worthwhile in terms of what Polarity are trying to achieve. They really are trying to take objectives right now, and going 1-for-1, even if it's a slightly better one that you kill, it puts you closer to that point where Ember Spirit's super farmed and where Tinker's super farmed. I mean, the Tinker's already got the key ingredients, the Travels and the Blink, to get more farmed, and the Ember Spirit is very close to the Battle Fury, which is the key ingredient for him. And at that point, from then onwards, the farming game really starts to favor NoDiggity. They passively just out-farm, they apply immense pressure, and yes, you have a Medusa, yes, you do have potential to go late game, but they're gonna be out-farming you. Definitely.
They're looking to pick off Phoenix behind this tier 1 top again. Cinderin smoked up with the Earthshaker. There will be a stun, and Yapso just blinks in, smacking down Lil. 3 TPs coming out here. It will not be the TPs away. Cinderin should fall here to Pasha, but the other 2 TPs will just make it out. And that's another big problem with this push lineup. Venge has a way to stop TPs. They're kind of light on the rest of it.
Yep, and I mean, Tinker and Ember Spirits are going to be mobile, jumping around the map. They're going to pull you to lanes, going for kills, and then just pull out. And if you're only ever going to kill heroes like Lion,
oh, Kazu, in a lot of trouble. He'll get blown up. Nature's Prophet doesn't even need to come in. That Mystic Snake hurts.
Yep, that it does. Which Vengeful Spirit's gonna get pretty close to either lanes now, which is I think quite a big pickup actually. Also getting on its way to level 11. Suddenly the catch potential will improve quite dramatically. Last game there was a bat, there's no bat this game, so very much is about the Venge, and for that reason, for the stun and for the swap, you really want the either lanes as soon as possible.
I actually think that once the Blink was up on Yapso, that was almost the nail in the coffin for Polarity. It gets very scary to push, because all Tinker needs is the maxed launch, and then Echo Slam onto the Treants. It's scary business. Tinker making it impossible for them to take Roshan. And Ember Spirit? As you said, Battle Fury already halfway to a Chrysalis.
Yeah, and Qualifier going for the 4 stuff again, just a defensive build. I was speaking to Gareth between the games, and he was saying there was a stage where this was more common on Tinker. Like it's more of an old school Tinker build. It certainly hasn't been common when Tinker's been picked up recently in the last year or two, but it's great utility, can be defensive, and especially in this kind of game where we're just talking about Venge is like the only stun. So someone gets hold of you, starts attacking you, you're always going to be force staffing away. You're always going to be able to save yourself, save other people.
Searing Chains onto Pasha, taking a lot of damage from this Tinker. Icarus dive in, trying to save his life, but it's not enough. Nature's Prophet going to come on out. Era, of course, even with the swap, he had a Remnant at the ready, and he's going to be just fine. They can't be losing their core like this.
Yep, and suddenly the game is becoming about things that Polarity's draft is not built for. Medusa's built for super late game. They're built to scale and DPS super late game. Their draft can do that. Their draft can also group and push, but their draft doesn't want to have these kind of like middle of the road small skirmishes all over the map. Like those definitely favor NoDiggity.
Radiant's middle tower is under
On
attack.
the other hand, they do have the fallback of Medusa. Afaninja has a Yasha up. Might be going Amanta here, has a lot of different options for what he can decide to go on the Medusa. So, okay, we have a casual Echo Slam just onto the Phoenix. Because Yapsor is a murderer, might get murdered in return. His Blink is on CD. Are they really just... He's going to TP out. He has TP'd away. Primal Roar going out onto DK Phobos. They're trying to freeze them, but Synderen should go down. Kazu will not find his way out. And even though Yapsor manages to escape, they lose two other... pretty important heroes, but again, as you said, Diggity are just extending this game.
Yeah, in the bigger scheme of things, it's not a big deal for NoDiggity, but at the same time, I feel like it's unnecessary. Those heroes didn't need to die. Let's check escape. They could have pulled back. None of them would have had to gotten caught. It was a little bit greedy, and it's costing them the rush now. Rush is dead in a matter of seconds. I don't think there's a safe way for Polarity to take that rush if NoDiggity don't move into that. So they're gonna be kicking themselves. It's the first sort of quite serious mistake that they've made in both of these games as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't need to dictate the outcome of the game in the long term, but in the short term it gives Polarity some breathing room and some opportunity to make some plays now that they have the Aegis.
Oh, and Earthshaker. I'm assuming it's going to be the Glimmer, but I would love to see just a Shadow Blade on Yapsor. Who doesn't love some good giggles there? Era, meanwhile, he is farming up a storm. He does decide to go the Blink. I was going to ask you, but then Era was busy murdering people. If you thought Blink was a better investment here, just so that he can play more tricksily and arguably just extend out the game for Dig.
Yeah, I definitely think it's the right call. It's what Ember Spirit usually wants to get, unless it's absolutely forced to get something else. After Battle Fury, the Blink is the sort of preferred build if you don't feel that pressured. It lets you get underneath their skin, lets you go a bit deeper, lets you push a lot deeper, bait people to come to you and still get out.
Yeah, oh, we have somebody, Earthshaker, just blinks away. And I was just going to point out, there are so many blinks up. There are 4 blinks on Dig right now. There will be a 5th, because that is a natural build-up for Beastmaster. If you can't...
He's got it.
Oh. Wait, he went for the blink? He didn't go for...
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So I'm loving this from Diggity. Can we just discuss for a second how brilliant this is? They know that there's very little lockdown on Polarity. Era will get silenced up here, will just cut his way out of the trees, and a fissure saves his life. But they can't catch anyone here in Polarity.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. It's like, we can just spread out on the map, push the waves in, keep farming, and you can't do a whole lot to us. You know, you can keep getting kited around the map all day, but it's gonna be rare for Polarity to make the pickoffs to find those kills. And all of the heroes become slippery. I mean, usually, Blink Dagger is not always the best defensively. Sometimes you want to force stop, but there isn't even that much that Polarity can use to disable the Blink from long range. There's, the Venge's Howl. That's about it.
Yeah, a lot of folks hiding in the trees here. Phoenix takes a look for them. Oh, the Sun Ray! Oh yeah, you get Kazu, but again, how do you stop these TPs out? There's nothing they can do. And Diggity are just... I don't want to say that Polarity are 100% out of this. They can take a team fight. They can still win this. But Diggity are having the time of their lives. There's just no lockdown.
Well, there's going to be a 2v2 fight at the top lane. Might be a 2v3, Draw Ranger on our way. But they are setting up. Ember Spirit's been hiding here, waiting. But it looks like Polarity are just sending more and more heroes. They know something's up here.
Yeah. And then there's just going to be the blinks away. Again, very movable. I also wanted to point out, DK Phobos did get a courier kill. Unfortunately, it was an empty courier, and it didn't matter too much. The blink had already been delivered.
mean, the incredible thing at the moment, by the way, is if we look at the metrics, NoDiggity aren't actually out farming Polarity yet. In fact, we expect that Ember Spirit and Tinker get their main farming items, then they just start to out farm. But even though it's single target, just like right clicks, the heroes on Polarity actually farm pretty quickly too. They don't have the mobility to spread out across the map, to jump up and down all over the place, but they kill the creeps quickly, as long as they're walking in good patterns. It's just frustrating for them in terms of how they move around the map, having to chase left, right, and center. And okay, they're going for bots again. They're gonna find nobody again.
It just makes teamfights, I think, a lot easier to take on Diggity when you have so much maneuverability. And obviously, I don't know, I think it just makes the game more fun for you. You have to be feeling pretty confident when every time Polarity tries to kill you, you just blink TP away.
Yeah, they're definitely. I'm sure NoDiggity are feeling pretty good about the game. I wonder if they'd know that the gold is actually still pretty even, because they probably feel quite in control of the game itself.
Yeah.
That's why I'm remarking about the fact that in terms of just the actual farm, in terms of like in between running your whole team to try and make a kill, which is what Polarity keep doing, they're still clearing lots of waves just because of how quickly all of their heroes just clear the jungle really quickly with the draw aura.
How do you feel about Drow? Obviously, she is a hero who peaks a little earlier than some. Do you think that some of the new items can be used to help her increase her power into the late game?
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, we could see a Hurricane Pike if that's what you're asking about.
Just
I think that's
asking
like
how she could itemize. She's going for the Sant and Yasha right now, but if there's a nice way she can itemize to get more out of this game as it progresses.
I mean, she can just stack lots of agility, which is obviously going to be really nice for giving bonus damage to all of her teammates. There's a weird little play on the left side of the map there, Vengeful Spirits and Lion trying to fight each other, but Cinderin ends up, he's the one at the ward. He blinks over Venge's head and then just TP's out.
Cinderin has placed 2. It's kind of odd, these wards. If you were Radiant, I can see you placing them to look for the look for the Tinker or look for the Nature's Prophet, but that Dia have placed them. It's very interesting. They're actually going to get dewarded. Or not.
It's actually next level.
Okay, they both placed them. That was
no. So this is the thing. Cinderin's placing those wards to see when they'll place the wards, or to see if they're waiting there to ambush the Tinker. And because his wards are up in advance, they have that information. They know. Okay, well, yep, they've got this one on the left side. Yeah, we saw your ward there. They don't have one down at the bottom because we saw that we haven't seen them ward there. And you also know if there's heroes hiding there. Like for example, the Nature's Prophet right now. They know exactly where he is.
I don't know. It's very funny. I think it's a bit of a comical game. Obviously, it hasn't had the most kills, but it is just these players playing around each other. They have no intention of matching meeting until they're good and ready.
Qualifier. He is caught out.
Oh yeah, they'll manage to catch Qualifier out finally. So he will go down, but Cinderin's still just playing with his wards in the trees. Like, when was the last time Cinderin hit a creep, guys?
Yeah, and it's funny because I think because of this ward, Qualifier felt confident. Because of the ward down here, he felt confident going here, but he got approached just from the tower basically. Vengeful Spirit either lane swap, draw gusted him, and that was that.
And Polarity are actually beginning to pull ahead a little. Not 100% sure if it's just pushing the lanes in a bit further. Maybe it's the supports being able to farm a bit more, unlike Cinderin, who just has to stay there. But finally, oh gosh, we're having something happen. A tower's being taken. It's exciting. It's actually, like, it's legitimately been, other than the Qualifier kill, there were about 8 minutes of nothing happening. So, just so folks understand why we're sounding a little bit desperate, Era going to get silenced up, but he has the Manta already up. And sure, he hasn't gone for the crit, but I really like these items on Era. Actually, they're going to try to jump back to him. He has other remnants at the ready. There's the secondary silence, but he blinks away in time, and this is just the power of the blink. Blink and Manta get you out of a lot of trouble, since Orchid doesn't do any damage until the Soulburn effect, of course.
Yep. Well, Polarity continues to do a good job, just farming. Like as you said, they're on the metrics, they're going ahead in both gold and XP. And Dra actually did. So let's go back to that conversation. He's bought a 4-star. Pasha's bought a 4-star, and I think that I think this is a fair build for Drow Ranger. You often see Drows go Blink Dagger. Long time ago, Drows sometimes bought 4-star when 4-star still involved Quarterstaff, and it was kind of like a DPS item. The hero really wants to have a mobility item, so the fact that you already build a Dragon Lance naturally, especially now that Drum got nerfed to bits, it's probably preferred. I think Hurricane Pike is nice, and Drow is one of the few heroes that really I feel like could benefit from the activate support. I'm not talking about the 4-star parts, I'm talking about push someone away and hit them a few times. Like, I think it's really nice for it. Usually heroes coming really close to Drow is one of the worst things for it to have to deal with, and I don't see anything. I like this build up. I think it's very interesting.
I think it's also fantastic, not only just because when people get close she's upset, but there's stuff like March of the Machines, you can get yourself out of it. Maybe there's a bad sprout, you're saved, and you don't have to turn around first because of the Hurricane Pike interaction. Of course, you can turn around and then use it like a full staff. You got options.
Yeah, and it's very short cooldown. 4-star cooldown is 20 seconds.
Cinderin sees all of these shenanigans. He knows he's in the danger zone and blinks away. They will throw the swap out onto Cinderin. He's been caught out here. Will he be able to? No, his blink is disabled. And Drow hits like a truck. While I wasn't looking, she's hitting for 200 damage.
Yeah, she's hitting for more than 200 damage, actually. If we look at all the auras and extra damage, there's points where she's hitting for like 400, 500 damage even.
Oh, sorry, I meant 400. Sorry, I said 200. Because my brain is small. We'll just go with that one. I meant 400 because she had 218 plus like 192, and I was just like, that's close enough. But what we're hearing is Llama needs to eat more pizza for breakfast so that she's all awake.
That seems legit.
Healthy. It's got tomatoes in it, which is like daily servings of fruit and vegetables. But back into the game, Medusa has the Scotty up.
Yep. So one step closer to that build up, and often people talk about Medusa's build being too defensive. I've heard people recently criticizing Medusa's who go stuff like Manta Scotty, but she has a Drow on her team, so I think it's perfectly reasonable to. I mean, Manta and Scotty do add some DPS, but especially with that Drow damage, to focus more on tanking up is perfectly reasonable on Medusa.
I think this is getting to the interesting point in the game because Polarity have managed to pull ahead in the farm and experience after having a bit of trouble with experience, and I do trust in Ember Spirit with a crit. Tinker does a lot of damage output too. Of course, could start working on a sheep stick as well to just keep someone perma-hexed, but this Medusa's looking pretty groovy. Like, when do you think you say, if you're Polarity or if you're Dig, that you pull the trigger and start a fight? Speaking of which, we've got dancing at top lane.
I don't think there's any. Yeah, it's not obvious there's necessary.
Okay, here we go. There's a blink in. There's gonna be a primal roll onto DK Phobos. They've poked the supernova in the back lines. DK Phobos still not bloody dead yet. Finally goes down to the rocket. The Nova will explode onto two of them. They need backup for this Phoenix though, and there's nobody around who can help out. Lil, a beautiful ult, but to no avail.
I think Polarity have much less playmaking power, precisely because they don't have a whole lot of control heroes. So they're gonna get the Lion here. Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's kill Cinder, and 3 shot down by Pasha. Because when he's around the bench.
In terms of setting up big plays or like important ganks on important heroes, Polarity don't have the tools to do that. So for them, it kind of has to be a farming game. And what's drawing out this game is that I think that NoDiggity kind of wants it to be a farming game. So NoDiggity, while they have more options to initiate, to jump, to catch, I don't know that that's something that they're interested in doing. I don't think they're in a rush. But we do see Polarity going back to rush again, and I think they get it again.
They should make
despite being on the Radiant side, it's very fast rush.
They'll make quick work of it, but Era is making sure to split push, putting some pressure on their bottom tower. Roshan will be going over to the Medusa. This is pretty nice, although she has to be careful. It's good and bad, right, to have it on the Medusa. If she's isolated, Dig bring her down very easily. So if they do the old kill everyone, then go for the Medusa, she will be brought down twice, especially with Necronomicons. Even though Beastmaster, I've never seen this before, not maxing the Necronomicon first.
I've seen it a few times. There was a stage where it was very popular to go Necro 2 into Blink. Necro 1 into Blink was something that I saw happen once or twice in Dream League. He hasn't gone back to max the Necros again though. He's gone for the Travels in the Gem, which is a bit unusual, but at the same time the power of maxing your Necros is mostly about grouping and taking objectives, and they're playing the slow game. They're playing the long game here on NoDiggity. Although right now, as I say that, they are going for smoke play, so looking for some kind of opening, but I don't think they're going to find one.
Yeah, unfortunately, their smoke is on the opposite side of the map to where everybody on Polarity are. They look as if they're trying to bait the Drow almost. Obviously, for Polarity, there are no more outer towers to take. So, as you talked about, sometimes you kind of question your identity, and I wouldn't say it's on Polarity, but it feels like both teams not super sure what to do right now. Or, alternatively, they're waiting on an item that we haven't identified.
I don't think it is that, though. I think it's Polarity really just have very few options for what they can do because they don't have playmaking heroes. They've got right-clicking heroes. And NoDiggity, who have playmaking heroes, they, you know, occasionally want to go for a play, they try to, but I don't think they feel immense pressure to go for plays, precisely because when you know the enemy team doesn't have playmaking heroes, you just feel more relaxed about, like, we're probably the ones dictating most of the plays. Why don't we farm, and when we feel comfortable, we'll go make the play that we want to make.
So we get to return to our 35-minute, 25-kill game, where in the last 10 minutes we've had, not even all of these are kills. Some of these are towers. We've had 4 kills in the last 10 minutes. No, 3 kills, because 3 of those are towers. Feels good, man.
Are you sad? Do you like watching people get killed?
Yes, actually, that's what I do, Scan. I just watch people get murdered all day long. That's why I play Dota 2. Oh, I love killing people. Couldn't get GTA, you know, so I was like, Dota 2. No, I'm
sure there's some humanitarians out there who are like, oh, what a peaceful game of Dota. What a nice change.
You know, I was watching, who was it? In one of the open qualifiers, it was like, one of the teams was like, can we just surrender and work together against the evils in the world or something? Like, they all tried that. No, I obviously, as a play-by-play caster, I enjoy shot calling, so in the games with less kills. But this one is, I wouldn't say it's incredibly tense. It should feel more tense, though, because honestly, if Polarity win a team fight, you lose one.
Era.
Oh, no. Okay.
Here, might get caught you. They smoked all the way around past the shop.
His remnant is running out, and so he'll jump over to it on the far right.
The great thing is, he didn't see them at any point during their rotation, but they were just off the map for so long that eventually he got scared and jumped away. They could have gotten him if they had run a slightly different route with their rotation. It would have been a pretty big deal.
But I think it's something where it's hard, as you said, for Polarity to make a move. Oh gosh, Yapsaw, he doesn't know. Half a ninja with a DD, they're not gonna catch him. But this game should feel more tense, honestly, because if Dig lose a team fight, their base is gone.
Yep, I mean, it could go either in both directions. If important heroes die without buyback, they could suddenly just lose their whole base. Definitely the pushing power is stronger from Polarity, but the pushing power is sufficient, I would say, with the Beastmaster or the Necros on the other side. They could get a lot of objectives with important kills. And did you see Lil went for 37-minute Midas on Phoenix? And that's kind of a sign of the times. It's like, okay, fine. If we can't get anything done, if all these smokes are going to be futile, waste of time, we'll just farm. It's you and a farm, we'll farm too.
Who wins, like, just with these hero matchups, what happens ultra late game? Because this might be where we're headed, which is not excellent for the liter and a half of water I've drunk, but...
I think that Drow Ranger might be going Ags, because she went Mjolnir, and usually when Drows go Maelstrom or Mjolnir, it's into the Ags build. And I really want her to, because it's almost like you have 2 Medusas, then it's like the double Medusa strategy. Like, that's kind of scary, because both of them need to be dealt with, and I mean, you asked me a difficult question, so I'm answering in a roundabout way. I'm not sure.
No, that's fair. I ask you because I'm not sure either. I feel like normally I would always defer to an Ember Spirit incredibly late, but as you pointed out, you've got a Medusa, you've got a Drow Ranger, and Ember Spirit, he does really well, but because they want to play so trickily, this Ember Spirit, if he wants to start going Rapiers, which if this game continues on, will become something to happen, he may need an MKB as well if somebody picks up a Butterfly, and suddenly you're talking about, okay, do you get rid of your Blink for the Rapier, do you drop your Manta and then you can get silenced up for the Rapier, and it starts getting Hazy, who actually outcarries. Also Tinker, the magic damage as people get tankier becomes less and less.
Yeah, I think that things favor NoDiggity just because both teams want to split up to get farm, and it feels like at some point in time NoDiggity are going to get an important catch on a hero, or two heroes split up, because they've got a lot of catching power. I mean, the other side has got Venge, and they've got an Nature's Prophet with a Hex and Orchid, and that's about it. So neither team wants to just run straight at the lane and force the high ground. I think it would be bad for the whichever team's pushing in that case. But in terms of like finding pickoffs or forcing favorable fights, or that's okay. There was that scan.
Dire scan. It was a dire scan and it caught some people.
It caught someone just for a second there. So they're looking. They feel like they're onto someone. They smell blood.
Oh, okay, here we go. Primal Roar and a Hex up onto Pasha. They are working to bring down that Drow, and she will fall. The Yule's up. The swap back on Yapsor, not worth it for the Drow, but look at how quickly a couple of auto attacks. Phoenix trying to find anybody else. Unable to. All in all of that weight. Oh no, the jump forwards by DK Phobos. Is he going to be in trouble? Tinker coming. Oh, Ember Spirit coming in back in. Tinker coming back in. DK Phobos, I think you're dead. That was a bit of a mistake. And is this the opening that they need on Dig? There'll be the zap. Venge gonna fall. Oof. And this could be tier 3 damage.
They turned the initial gank, they made one kill on the Earthshaker, they saw people leaving and they thought, okay, they're all running away, let's try catch someone. But the Tinker can always TP back, the Ember Spirit can always TP, and I don't know, part of me feels like that's... DKVO's a little bit frustrated, there's nothing happening in this game, he's used to action and just wants a play to happen. Unfortunately, it's not the play he wants.
Yeah. There they go. This is this tower siege. March of the Machines down everywhere. There is no ult on Medusa for another 30 seconds since she used it in that team fight to little effect. And this tower at half health. They really can't defend too easily with the March going down. And this could just be a tier 3 tower, maybe more. Ninja taking a lot of damage all of a sudden. There's the Hex coming out from Cinder and he gets the stun. She is caught on the edge of the March, but of course the Phoenix Sunray will help heal her up. Fire Spirits being thrown out in an attempt to stop the push, and they will keep their melee racks, but that's what we were talking about. And look at this, they're trying to find anyone to catch onto, but Polarity just can't.
Yeah, so if it went the other way, if the Drow team had that amount of time to push, they're gonna rax 2, maybe 3 sides. So definitely, I mean, you were making this point earlier, it's, even if things go against Polarity for a while, it just takes one big important fight where they kill some important heroes who don't have buyback. Suddenly Polarity could just win the game outright. But in terms of the progression, it's now starting to favor NoDiggity again. Mostly just because of a pretty big mistake, I think, from DK Phobos to blindly TP forward there when enemies could TP out more. Quakefoot almost gets caught, but TP out just succeeds. Nature's Prophet was too late, and Drow Ranger unfortunately could not stop his TP.
Yeah, oof. So we're gonna go back to probably farming for another 15 minutes, guys. I hope you got your everything ready, got your snacks in front of you, because I don't think the Polarity, obviously very aware that they could lose a Rax next time. Although, how much does it really matter if you lose a Rax? Neither side, you know, 2 lanes of supers might be a problem. 1 lane of supers, Medusa can do that in her sleep.
I mean, it's not only about being able to defend, being Rax, it's also your creeps are going to be worth less, so you're going to get out farmed. The Rax creeps don't give you as much when you kill them. So they don't want to be Raxed. I mean, I do take your meaning. It's not like it's going to put immense pressure on them. Not in the direct sense, but in the economic sense, it does add to the pressure.
So, Drow Ranger, she will probably finish the Satanic. I actually would imagine you replace the Sanjin Yasha to get bigger, but then after you finish the Satanic, replace the Sanjin Yasha. Are you done here for Drow?
You can still get a Moonshard.
Of course.
Still get a
refresher. No, actually, no joke. A late game refresher when you have bots can actually be, so bots level 2 Moonshot, and then a very late game refresher that you have on a courier nearby. So let's say you bots to a lane to farm, a fight breaks out, make sure that you can bots. Because Dig, knowing that people have boots of travel, will, you know, try to take that opportunity to gank.
Yeah, and then you can always buy backup rapiers, and you know, just in case something happens at your base, you want to pick up a rapier quickly. You can buy all the wards for your team. There's a lot of opportunities to spend your gold.
Do you think we'll be seeing a rapier this game?
A rapier. I think we will see at least one rapier. Yes. I mean, Ember Spirit's got a Demon Edge, and nobody on the enemy team has evasion, and he's already got a Daedalus. So unless he's going for another Daedalus, which is a thing potentially, I would say high chances that Demon Edge is going to be a rapier. I think that's the most likely option. Well, Medusa, I've just noticed, is actually going for a Hex. I think. I mean, she might be going back for like a really late Lincoln's, but I think it's a Hex. I think a Hex makes sense because we've been talking all game about their lack of control. They've got like a Vanish Stun and one Hex up on their Nature's Prophet. They would really like to get some more Hexes up. If they could get one on the Phoenix, that would also be great. So I think she is going Hex. I think it would be a bit odd for her to buy Lincolns at this stage in the game. If she was going to go Lincoln, she could have bought it much earlier.
Okay, well, I was actually expecting rapiers out of Ember Spirit maybe, but you're right, Medusa, another viable option. I don't know if she needs... I like that she's going for the Hex, but I wouldn't be surprised... It is
Ember who's gonna buy...
Yeah,
Ember will buy rapier, that's what I was saying, sorry.
But no, but both of them could get one, in the stash, like you said, like, oh, team fight goes poorly, you make sure you have buyback and a rapier, and surprise, I'm here in the fight now with a rapier! Have fun with that damage, but it is, oof. I like this Hex, it's gonna be helpful. I'm a little bit surprised that Tinker, oh, thank goodness we're ready to go. Tinker hasn't also gotten up a Hex, although his Bloodstone is up to 16 charges, so.
He's buying a Hex now, I think. He's got a Voidstone on the career, it's going to the shop, I think that's for a Hex. Yeah, that's a Hex. So here comes the Hex lock from the Tinker. For a short amount of time he won't have buyback, but he's got a Bloodstone at 16 charges, so he's gonna be able to he's gonna be able to respawn really quickly if he were to die.
Yeah, for those of you who may be unaware, since the patch dropped pretty recently, Bloodstone now starts with 12 charges, so it's a little bit better, arguably more viable on a lot of heroes, and we're actually seeing folks going back to getting it. We're gonna have a TP in, that's the BKB. They do manage to hit the silence, but Pasha not willing to go any further forwards. That'll be that.
Yeah.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
How do you...
Have we seen Pasha use the pike yet? I feel like he's used it only as a 4-star so
I mean,
far.
he's been trying. Who is he piking? They don't have vision tools. They don't own the Hawk. I was about to say, do you just buy an Abyssal for lockdown for your team on Polarity? Like, they're getting the Hex, but it just feels like you need more.
They're just gonna buy more Hexes. They've got 2 Hexes now. The Phoenix is probably gonna farm a Hex as well. That's what I would guess. And then it's just gonna become a game of, can we get those pickoffs now that we have the tools to make them?
Okay, speaking of pickoffs, Era, will he go down? He remnants away after the Manta! He had under 200 health, one more hit from the Drow. And that is incredibly, I mean, that's like, maybe if you procced Maelstrom a few times more.
Yeah, it's the power of the Hex. And now there's 2. And as I said, probably Phoenix on his way to one as well, so I think that NoDiggity might start to wonder, like, there certainly are big risks. They're not, I don't think they get to feel comfortable or in control of this game at all. Like, they've known all along that they have an advantage in terms of they can maneuver, they have the tools to make plays. But with the Hexes coming up, Polarity have the tools, and Polarity have the damage advantage they have for quite a while. And they've got the 3rd rush in a row now.
Yeah, we haven't looked closely, but they hit like trucks, big old Mack trucks. So they also have the experience advantage, which I'm pretty surprised by. There's the immediate smoke up, just to give folks an idea of the items. We've got cheese on the Phoenix, so kind of 2 extra lives, obviously, if they can get the Supernova off as well. And Hex finished, MKB, Scotty, Manta.
Oh, look at Cinderin. Cinderin gonna tank another gank, I think.
Cinderin, the gank tank. I don't even think he's tanking this gank. I don't think it's happening. And they actually throw out the scan, hoping to find someone. They don't realize that Ember Spirit is way further forward.
He's still gonna tank the gank.
Oh yeah, Cinderin, come on. Get ganked. There he is, immediately silenced up. He goes for the TP away. He's just gonna TP. No, finally somebody hexes him.
Yeah.
Cinderin,
he heard what you said. He was like, no, I'm tanking the gank.
What a guy. He's trying to make sure that the viewers stay entertained, that there's at least enough blood that we don't get, like, you know, what is it? WCA rules enforced on us. Because I don't want to get banned, right? For not enough action in our games. It's not great.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
who wants to be banned? Embersport did buy it. He actually bought a second Daedalus, so not wanting to go for the rapier. I mean, it's the damage output's pretty good from having the double Daedalus build, to be honest. And
Radiant's middle tower
I don't know
is
if there's a
under
huge
attack.
downside of going rapier in this game, to be honest. It's not like their damage can go up that much if you lose it. I say that, but Medusa probably would like a rapier around about now. She
She's in a
wouldn't mind
slot.
if you, yeah, if you gave her a rapier, she'd be like, cool, yep.
Why does
I'll
she
have that.
have her boots on? Did she just buy a rapier? Did I just completely miss that? Her boots are on
No,
the
no, no, she
courier.
sold
Okay,
it.
we have a nice little pickoff maybe here on the Earthshaker. Will they be able to catch him out? Yes, they're gonna bring him down.
She had treads or phase boots, and she sold them at the secret shop.
Oh yeah,
and
she had phased. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought she just like randomly put her bots on the courier and got a little confused, but no, you're right. She had.
She was like, I'm bored with this game. Oh, let's see what it's like to walk slowly for a while.
Hey, she doesn't even have feet. Like, how is she getting around? You know, undulating. Not.
Yeah, that is true. What does she do? Where does she put the boots to get faster?
I think you just like put them on your shoulders or something. Those shoulder plates. Anyway, here comes the push. They have Aegis. Diggity, as we talked about, they do have a lot of damage, and they're just gonna push on the bottom lane, but here comes a TP. Never mind. They cancel that, and
Dire's middle
Medusa,
tower is under attack.
it looks like they want to attack on multiple fronts. It's going to be the TP back on the Phoenix, who finishes up a Lotus Orb. I wasn't sure if that was going to be a Shiva's instead. And now
Yeah, I thought it would be another Hex, but I guess it's nice here against the Raw to have at least one Lotus Orb.
And the window for using this Aegis, it is closing. Only 2 minutes left. Albeit, you know, we can wait. We got all day. The next game, I believe, won't start until we're done with this one. So we got time. But I do worry about Polarity if they don't use this window, right? They're not built to rat on this Nature's Prophet, and they haven't been ratting, so what's the play?
I don't know. It's not, again, it's really not clear that, you know, we've been saying over and over the pressure's on them more, and the pressure was on them more because they only had damage, and they only had carry, and they didn't have tools to fight and gank and pick off, but with a couple of hexes, it changes the dynamic, and I'm really not sure that this game is favoring NoDiggity in this late stage. It's very clear that both teams are composed in such a way that neither the enemy team nobody can push the high ground just like that with everyone on the enemy team alive. That's a very dangerous thing for either side to do. And so what needs to happen is key heroes need to die without buyback. But that's gonna, I mean, everyone's gonna be saving buybacks. So it's, what needs to happen is like an important hero like an Ember or Medusa or Drow or a Tinker has to die once, get forced to buy back, and then has to be picked off again. That's what I feel like probably needs to happen for this game to end. And that's, I mean, sorry to say it, if you're hoping for action-packed, you know, climactic finishes, this could drag on for a very long time.
Yeah, we're not getting a fun climax in this game. For Medusa just continuing to farm up, obviously Aegis going to be expiring soon. What do you think you finish it off here with? Obviously there's still the Moonshot, a lot of the other items we talked about. Is it Rapier in that slot? Is it another item to take her up? She could of course go for a Scotty as well to make sure that she never dies. A Lincoln's or a BKB to make sure she's not taking as much damage from the Tinker?
I think actually a BKB could be pretty damn scary at this stage in the game. What deals you damage then? Ember Spirit, that's it. And that's like only when he slides once every 6 seconds. So yeah, okay. I think she wants something to tank, but also to fight, and looks like she's actually bought a quarterstaff. So gonna go for a butterfly probably, which is pretty good. Does give you that extra tank ability. Doesn't help against the spells, but sometimes going BKB on Medusa is like a difficult decision because you sort of want the enemy team to use spells on you to sink all that damage.
Oh, Kazu, Primal Roar, immediately Era is there, trying to walk in onto Pasha, taking a lot of damage, and they will bring the Drow Ranger down. She, of course, does have buyback here.
Yeah, they gotta force the buyback.
Yeah.
It's really important. Like, killing heroes and then not forcing their buybacks, it does nothing to the game.
And I don't know if they can force a buyback. Medusa's just gonna get rid of this entire wave very quickly there. Gonna be just fine.
They want to. They realize, like, this is worth nothing to us unless we force the buyback. But you're right, that doesn't mean that they have an easy way to force the buyback. Especially because they don't really pressure the buildings very quickly. So it's not like if they just sometimes a hero's down and all you have to do is be brave, send someone to the front line and hit the building and try and get them to buy back. But that's not gonna. That's not, if Ember Spirit runs to the front and attacks the tower a few times, it's hardly gonna deal damage. While the Ember Spirit's gonna be tanking damage really quickly.
Okay, so for Polarity, oh sorry, changed back over to the net worth chart. Don't have the ordering right. I see a quarterstaff up on the Medusa. Do you think this is signaling a butterfly?
Yeah, it is a butterfly. I'm sure it's a butterfly. Can't really be anything else.
It's an interesting pickup because, of course, the Ember Spirit's cleave damage doesn't care about your evasion, but of course, if she's 1v1ing him, Era will not be able to hit her terribly frequently.
Yeah, and the slights that hit her directly will still care about that as well. Just not the cleaved ones, right?
Exactly. Okay, here we go. Maybe something's happening. We've got an engagement, hopefully, on our hands. Echo Slam onto Alpha Ninja. She's got the scream off, though. They can't look at her. Koikfa gonna get stoned up. There's a beautiful egg coming up, but they've taken down the Venge. Alpha Ninja surging forwards. There's gonna be the Wiggle Snake. Cinderin has died. Does this mean that Dig wins the team fight? But they can't catch up again. There's nothing much they can do. The blink over. Koikfa just TPing away. They jump forwards further, popping that BKB, trying to find themselves Era, but he monitors off the silence. And they just can't bloody catch anyone. Now Era remnanting behind them, even clearing the creep wave. Just playing with his food, and Tinker goes down to push the bottom lane. Polarity, just a 1-for-1 trade, despite all of that work.
Yeah, and they really wanted to get something more out of that. Drow was still not yet alive when the fight started, had a few more seconds, and they were hoping to still force the buyback or punish it for not firing back, and they didn't achieve either of those things, unfortunately. I'm starting to wonder, maybe we should look at, I mean...
Okay, here we go, going on to Alpha Ninja. He's taking pretty much no damage, so we're just gonna sit here, watch him probably walk away. Tinker's getting him low. He does, of course, still have that cheese. Oh no, he used it whilst team fight, so that'll be Alpha Ninja down to half health with 3 heroes there pounding into him. It's gonna be a long one.
There's so many super farm, super strong, like, carry level heroes in this game. Each team has 3 carries. You could maybe even argue 4. The Earthshake and the Phoenix are pretty much up there in terms of what they need. I'm starting to wonder if we don't look at the Lion and the Venge. The only heroes that have not really got anything. Like the sort of weakest links of each team, because both of them have a potential to have big impacts on fights. Recently it's been kind of like they trade and they both die, but a very key swap could be fight winning. So could a very key blink and hex initiation. So it might be when the difference is made, it comes down to that. Like, the heroes that haven't had farm sunk into them, if they make a play that's the caliber of one of the heroes that has had the farm sunk into them, that could be a big difference maker, actually. I mean, mostly it's just difficult enough for Lion and Venge to stay alive at all in these fights, but maybe we'll see that big play coming out of Syndra or Xena at some point again.
Yeah, Sleight of Fist does manage to hit Alpha Ninja. He may be in trouble here, taking quite a bit of damage. Immediately pops that ult, trying to pick away at Koikfa, but the swap, they do hit Koikfa. It gets returned with the Lotus Orb. Koikfa hexed up, gonna return the hex onto DK Phobos. They're trying to stop the blink out. He's caught in the trees. He's taking the full Sunray. Koikfa will be going down here. Phoenix getting that kill, and that's a big one. Again, if they can force buyback, but Koikfa's dead for like 30 seconds because of this Bloodstone. So never mind. We're back to farming.
Yeah. Yep, you know, and the kills that don't force buybacks are worth nothing. They don't make it. I mean, I'm exaggerating. They're worth like a very small amount. they don't really make a significant or substantial difference to the position the game's in.
Have you seen the net worth chart? It is within 1,000 gold, 56 minutes in. That is ridiculously close. We're going to be seeing a 10,000 gold experience lead for Polarity, so they are farming better. Eventually that won't matter, but the fact that the gold is even... There's a swap. They'll hex up Yapsaw, and now attacking him down pretty easily. Finally, another kill for Polarity, although Tinker already back alive because of that Bloodstone.
Yeah. Finally is a rapier up on Era, by the way. So Daedalus is a backup Daedalus in his stash instead. It's just... I mean, there's a point at which... You might, I don't know, this sounds like a joke, but like for science, like why don't we just try this out? Here's a different approach, because there's very little risk, and teams will be trying to problem solve. They'll both be like, let's think of, is there something we haven't thought of to like break this game open? Is there something we haven't considered yet? And it's a little bit more difficult to theory crop that way when you're in the middle of a game. But one approach that works is just trying things out, and actually this Ember Spirit is getting a lot of damage off on the tier 3. This is like the huge progress. The most progress that NoDiggity have made in terms of objectives for a long time. Well, yeah, there's a rush kill again, but we've seen that many times.
For anybody joining in just right or tuning into the game just now, 500 damage on a tier 3. That's huge progress. That's the state of this game. Nature's Prophet gonna TP in. Can he catch Kaz with a blink away? Will he be able to figure out where he went? No, he already used the Sprout, so not gonna get vision to hex him up. Kazu too quick out with his fingers.
At least the Ember Spirit can do that now with the Rapier. Like, the Daedalus doesn't give you as much damage as nearly as much damage as the Rapier does if you're hitting buildings. And we did say there was an issue that NoDiggity just, their heroes hit buildings very slow. Like, Beastmaster has the Aura and the Necros. Other than that, Ember Spirit and Tinker are both carries that are very weak against buildings. But with that Rapier up, Ember Spirit occasionally might have the opportunity to jump in, get 1 or 2 hits on the tower and jump away.
So, Medusa, gonna just continue up. This is something where she has the MKB, helps with the laser, obviously. But do you think that you swap it out for something eventually here?
She probably has to keep it. I'm not sure if she can swap anything.
What I'm saying is, what are we dropping for a Rapier on our Medusa? Let's be blunt. That's what we're talking about. Because if they manage to get the Rapier off of the Ember Spirit, it's got to go somewhere.
They could just put it in their base. I mean, it's she could maybe consider the Mansa. I mean, that's sketchy. You're right. The MKB is a consideration, but I do think it is quite important to. I suppose for a Rapier, the MKB could be dropped. You really don't want to be lasered though. Nobody has any natural evasion on the enemy team, it's just about the laser.
Yes. So, we'll continue slowly running around. I don't know, as you said, what is the right item here. I wouldn't mind seeing Yapsol maybe build some more damage coming up on the Earthshaker. I think he could, as you talked about, having some of the less farmed heroes transition into more core roles, more damage output could help. Because obviously, you know, you do have this big enchant totem. Yapsor could do quite a bit of damage to the Medusa. Or can at least help the cause. If he starts to itemize that way, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, I just think Yapsor could buy a Hex, to be honest. Like, they're getting out-hexed at the moment, and that's something that's quite scary to deal with in the late game. Phoenix is headed now, the 3rd Hex. Very, very close to it. I don't know if Vengeful Spirit's ever gonna get to that point, but 3 hexes against, what, just 1? I don't count the Lion's inherent hex. In terms of like the actual Scythe of Ices, they have a lot more, and in the late game, items like Scythe of Ice and Abyssal Blade can often be decisive. You see Qualifier just buying out all the wards now, saying nobody else will ever pay for wards again this game. I have more than enough to do that.
He is slotted. I actually wouldn't mind seeing Qualifier. It's a small thing, but of course, getting up a Moonshard, you never know when someone gets away on one attack, like Kezu did earlier in one of those games. With that, folks, we're going to be seeing Nature's Prophet finally going to invest into bots, I imagine, once he has buyback as well. And we get to sit around, wait a little bit, see if anybody wants to blink first. Approaching the 60-minute marks. We're officially in a long Dota game, right? I don't know the numbers. I don't know if you have them off the top of your head.
I don't, but it is, yeah. It's definitely long. Definitely
you
long.
heard it from Scant, definitely long. So we...
In the previous patch was like, in 6.86, it was really rare. I think it was like less than 5% of games that got to 60 minutes. I don't know about this.
Oh crap, they get the pick off on Cinder and... Well, doesn't really matter, but he does have buyback. They'll manage to get the pick off onto him. Oh, but there's the Primal Roar coming out onto DK Phobos. His mana getting very low, and he's immediately blown up with a 3-man rotation. Unfortunately for Polarity, they just weren't expecting that. Both of these heroes have buyback, but of course it's way more worth it. The kill on Cinder, and there's the Hex out onto Kezu. They need to poke away at him, and he will go down, so both offlaners dead in a flurry of murder.
Any time that a hero like shows up alone on the map, the enemy team can just obliterate them super quickly. That's just like, and so it just trades back and forth because everyone is so damn strong and everyone is so damn mobile It's the potential for pickups is just insane for both sides.
They
I
did
do
not.
think at this stage Polarity are actually probably ahead. I think they're stronger.
I also noted they did not notice the gem drop. Obviously, a lot's going on in the game right now. But there was a gem that fell out of the Beastmaster. Aegis will be reclaimed, so whether Polarity still want to push is a big question. And probably no one's going to notice that gem for a while now, even with the creeps walking by it, because Polarity are just desperately looking for someone to kill.
And nobody, as I said before, nobody wants to force high ground when the enemy team is prepared. It's like guaranteed to have a positional disadvantage. But I think Polarity are actually stronger. I think that's just, you know, we've been struggling to judge which lineup is favored late, and it's close enough that if one team outplays the other team, they're probably going to win this game. If, you know, outplays them substantially.
Yeah,
enough.
there are potentially two team fights left in this game. One to knock out to force everyone to buy back on the team who lost it, and then the next buyback fight. And whoever wins those in a row, but we have a Hex up, they're trying to catch out Era. They actually did quite a bit of damage to him, will not bring him down. That's a nice surprising attack. But yeah, it's those two fights, and whoever wins the two consecutive ones, if only one fight is won, we go back to this farming, but if someone wins those two fights, the tier 4s are gone. Like, Ancient's falling.
Yeah. Yeah, if a team wins two fights at this point, they're looking pretty good. But outside of that, I do feel like Polarity have more to offer. I actually think we're at the point where, I don't know, just position-wise, the damage output is, you know, Tinker's damage output is mostly his March and his F-Blade Dagger. Like, there's much more linear and specific things that Tinker can do. And Ember Spirit only has slight every 6 seconds, so I don't know, Earthshaker's damage, his damage is not going to kill people anymore. He's like he's like Lion. They're disabling people for their teammates, but their teammates have a very specific kind of damage output, whereas Polarity are just like, okay, we all hit really hard, we all hit really fast, and we have infinite hexes. I'd rather be in that position. I think it's more straightforward for Polarity, regardless of the situation, to find ways to make kills.
Also on raw damage, the Vengeance aura helps them scale really well as things progress. There's gonna be a TP in, DK Phobos blown up again! And he just gonna sit there sadly. They're actually TPing people in. Polarity want to fight this one. Hex onto Koikva. If they can pick up the Tinker, as we talked about, it's a big kill. They will just blow him up. They might go for the push. He's only dead for 50 seconds, but they're looking for more. The swap. Yapsaw taking mad damage. There will be a Yule's up trying to save himself, but will he go down full-staffed into the base? Ninja doesn't care. He's going for it, and BKB on Pasha. Yapsaw, he's dead as well. Both of these heroes, they do have buybacks. In fact, everybody has buybacks. But this could be the siege that they need. Beastmaster, is he going to cut the wave? I think he was thinking about it. He might come in with the Primal Roar from behind right after the buybacks.
Yeah, so Hexes are very short cooldown, so they're all ready. But BKB's gone on draw, so that's one thing that could be punished if...
Oh no, they've caught out Kazu. They've seen him. He can't blink away, and the autos from Drow 3 will bring him down. Somebody has to buy back here on Diggity. Tinker will be coming up. Will that be enough?
It might be. I mean, they're gonna spam some slides, they're gonna spam some Tinker spells and see what happens.
Oh, there's the swap! They've hexed up Era! He's taking a lot of damage! One more attack! Can they get it? He does not! He finally goes down to the Sun Ray, and Phoenix, she's in there. She has the Supernova at the ready if they need. They are working on the ranged racks. A beautiful Echo Slam by Yapsaw, but now he's gonna pay the price. The Scream, the Stone Gaze coming out from Medusa, and the Hexes all over the place. Dagon's coming out from Koikva. They don't get the ranged racks. Diggity strike back. And there is no buyback on the Nature's Prophet. Ninja in a lot of trouble as well. He's gonna die. Diggity did have to use their buybacks, but there are only 3 up on Polarity. And suddenly, it's up to Polarity to try and win this next team fight. But if there are buybacks on Polarity, Diggity can't push. Because if they die again, it's GG.
Well, the Tinker still has buyback, so you won't be able to initiate on him. But yeah, if Ember Spirit gets burst down without achieving anything, that could very well just be GG. Nature's Prophet will respawn in time to TP in. So they need to be very protective of the Ember Spirit right now.
Yeah, he is kind of... We're betting it all there. Diggity, gonna see if they can't be the first to get a Rax in this game. They've cleared the creep wave. See if Phoenix can be enough. They're probably losing the ranged racks, and that should be what breaks the base first. Era jumping in a little bit further. Sleight of Fist for the swap in onto Era. He's hexed up. Gonna get able to remnant away. BKB pot from Pasha, and immediately the finger. There's a buyback from the Drow. Koikva getting caught out again. They need to finish the deal. The silence. Kezu can't use the primal roar, but nobody's dying. Avaninde trying his best, but still nobody's dead. Uses the stone gaze. Koikva finally goes down. He does have buyback. Hasn't used it quite yet. Gonna see if his team can't hold without him, and somehow the ranged racks still standing. Only buyback in this game on Koikva.
Yeah, so it's a pretty big win for NoDiggity. It looked like when we were at NoDiggity's base, it looked like a pretty big win for Polarity, but things have certainly swung back at this point, and Ninja's now picked up a refresher orb that he quickly used at base. They won't actually expect that.
Yes.
It could catch people out. Another Medusa ulti. The Hex they'll expect, but they definitely won't expect Medusa to have ulti up.
See what she can do there. Yapzor as well still has Echo Slam, has the Lotus Orb to stop the hexes, but if both sides back out here, I think Diggity smell blood in the water. They know that they can also have Tinker with 2 lives. He will probably bots in a second, lay down the March spam. Let's see, Yapzor, Shadow Bladed. Coming forward, there it is, the Echo Slam catches out Avaninde, but the silence from Drow catching all of them. Can Avaninde get off the scream? He doesn't have any mana. Avaninde, no buyback. This is GG. That's it.
Yeah, he didn't get his ulti off. If he got his ulti off, it could be a totally different story. I think if he gets his ulti off there, like maybe win the fights, wipe NoDiggity and go win the game himself, but just burst on perfectly, perma disabled, and yeah, despite the fact that they're the team with all of the hexes, it's NoDiggity that have the Earthshaker and the Lion and the Beastmaster, and there's plenty of disable there.
NoDiggity, oh, there's gonna be the swap. Drow, gonna try to take out the Earth Spirit, but no, now hexed up. There's the Venge popping out again, and Koikva coming in further, chaining those hexes, gonna try to blow up Pasha. Pasha gonna be saved there. If NoDiggity, I guess, didn't realize what the timers were, so they do not take the tier 4s. They're going for another lane of racks, and maybe even going to back out here. Because the Ember Spirit's dead. I'm incredibly surprised they don't go for it.
Well, the thing is, we're talking about they don't have...
Pasha jumps forwards, doesn't realize Yapzor is right behind her. She does have BKB. She pops it. Cinder no longer can hex her up. There's going to also be a nice Lotus Orb to stop the Primal Roar. And what I thought was the end of the game. We're still going strong. Oh, there's the jump in. Trying to find somebody. But no, they will start working on the racks. Still 40 seconds on the Medusa.
You know, I thought it would be the end of the game too, but they just don't have damage to buildings. Their heroes are so bad at killing buildings. Ember Spirit is the one with the best damage to buildings, and even he's not very good at it, but he was the one who was dead who couldn't buy back. So I think that's why they have to take this approach, and it's gonna allow Polarity to see the light of day again, have more opportunities in this game. But we're getting to the point where a couple of minutes time, suddenly everyone's gonna have buyback again, and the whole game resets.
Yeah, if I mean, we talked about it, it hurts your economy, but if Medusa gets back here and we get buybacks, this could just keep going, because Medusa, as we said, doesn't super mind dealing with supers in 2 lanes.
Yeah, and in the same situation, like, absolutely Polarity win. Like, if they win a fight at NoDiggity's base and the Ember Spirit's dead without buyback, or the Tinker's dead without buyback, they will go to the throne, and you'll have like 10 seconds to do something about it, or your base will die.
Well, guys, I can't believe it, but Polarity are still in. We'll take a look at the net worth chart, because that was 14,000 net worth, probably going all the way back down to 0. Similarly with the experience, Polarity not only now back on the back foot, but they go for the smoke. They want to contest this Roshan. It's falling very quickly. You don't want to fight into Era having an Aegis. It's going to go on the Beastmaster. Era 6 slotted. Let's see if they can catch some of these stragglers. They hex up the Necro Creep, but Kezu taking a lot of damage. He'll be burned down immediately. They're gonna blow up the Earthshaker as well. Can they doubly get Kezu? Yes, they can, and they'll lose the Beastmaster. Neither of these heroes have buyback.
Yeah, Sidoran got totally zoned. Initially I thought Lil's ulti was really weird, but the Lion could not come into the fight to hex or stun or save anyone with his 4 stuff, because he had to run straight through the Phoenix Egg. It was disabling his blink, his 4 stuff was cooling down, and he didn't have a way to get involved, so 2 heroes die, 1 has to run away, and now it's time for Tinker and Ember Spirit to to do some heavy lifting.
Oh yeah, there they go. They've got creeps close enough that there's no longer that protection on the
Little
towers, and look
smoke.
at the melt!
Dire's
Holy
middle
Hannah!
tower has fallen.
This Drow Ranger, she is just destroying their buildings. They're doing it, tier 4s. Oh, I like this a lot. They know that there are no buybacks because they kept the time, as we can see. There is still a minute on them. The tier 4's in a lot of trouble. Pasha goes down. No buyback on her either. Ninja just gonna keep hitting hits significantly less hard. A swap to save out DK Phobos, and Era coming back in. Ninja taking a lot of damage. They have to be careful here. Phoenix probably gonna get blown up. Lil goes down. The rockets flying out still. They'll lose themselves the Venge. And Ember Spirit still going forwards. This is the counter throw. And only DK Phobos gonna survive. He could buy out. No, he can't. He can't buy the bots. He just needs to keep the lanes desperately pushed. But Ember Spirit's alive and he clears creep waves like nobody's business.
Yeah, it's very clever of NoDiggity to focus that Drow there. It's definitely in terms of like how easy a hero is to kill and how much effect it has on the game, it's by far the most important target. Once they kill the Drow, the situation's always going to turn around. So NoDiggity's turn to go and try push again, but again they're quite slow at pushing buildings.
I don't think they're 50 seconds slow. DK Phobos will try his best, but I think unfortunately he would have needed to be working on those tier 4s, and this is finally looking like the GG. DK Phobos blown up in an Echo Slam. Polarity will call it in a second, or just let their Ancient fall. DK Phobos comes back in, trying his best, but just blown up again. And there it is. Diggity 4-0 so far in the qualifiers. 73-minute game. Oof, that was a nail biter
Wow.
at the end.
Yeah, this is the kind of game where I feel like if you go back and study the replay, the last kind of 30 minutes of the game, there's lots of things we could find where small things made a huge difference. Each time there's a clash between the teams, well, oh, who am I kidding? More like the last 10 minutes of the game. Each time there are clashes between the teams, there's small things that individual heroes are doing which could be making a huge impact, and it's very difficult to pick out like this person is MVP or this person pulled their weights. It went both ways. It looked very close right up to the end. Either team could have won, but it's NoDiggity that takes it.
Yeah, that was a long one. So, guys, that's gonna be it for this series. NoDiggity 2-0, continuing undefeated in their group. Well played to them. And we're gonna be headed right into the next game. We might actually be back on schedule. We were doing so well being ahead. I'll let you guys know there's probably gonna be a bit of wait between games because we gotta get the lobbies up. But once again, thank you all so much for watching. I'm Llama Down Under. I've been joined by Scansor. You can find us by those names on Twitter. And please, any and all feedback on how to make the casting better for you. Let's go to some awesome music. I hope you all had fun.